Good afternoon, everyone. Gerlin Joseph with the Haitian Free Alliance. Today is July 27, 2026, and we have with us our warrior who has been in the forefront fighting on behalf of the community. Jeff Pipoli is joining us to kind of give us an update of what is happening today.
So today, the Supreme Court's ruling from June 25th um, became final. We got the final judgment from the United States Supreme Court. The case will now be sent back to Judge Reyes, who will, in the coming days, there's no specific time frame, but we expect it to be a matter of just days, will enter an order officially lifting her previous ruling, and then the termination of TPS will be fully in effect. And I wish I had better news, um, but I don't, unfortunately. That's where we are right now. I want to be clear that we are continuing to litigate this case, but people should not expect there to be a new order coming from Judge Reyes in the short term. And we've seen a version of this happen before. If you look at what happened with Venezuela's TPS back in May and July of last year, where they won in the district court, in the trial court, and then it went up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court allowed the termination to take effect. Well, that didn't end the case, but the termination was in effect while the case was ongoing. And that's the situation we find ourselves in now. So could something happen in the long term, depending on what facts we find and what new legal theories we come up with that are not covered by the Supreme Court's ruling? Yes, that is possible. But in the short term, people should not bank on that. And I say this because I want people to be safe and I want them to do what's right for them and their families. And as you said at the beginning, it's very important that people have the best information possible. And right now, because there's going to be at least some period of time when the termination of TPS is allowed to take effect, we know that this administration is out there targeting Haitian people. We saw the reporting on that yesterday and today. Please, please, please go see an immigration attorney and figure out what your options are. That's your best path in the short term right now. It's Again, I wish that there was just one question that we had to answer, which is, will TPS stay? But that's not the case anymore. And now there are 350,000 individual questions that need to be answered. And I can't tell, anybody what their specific case is or what they should do. They need to go see a reputable immigration attorney that can help them and lay out their options for them. So
Thank you so
if there's one thing I wish people took away, it's that, they need to go see an immigration attorney right now.
Thank you so much for that. And going into more details, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that mean is going back to Judge Reyes?
It just means that it's a jurisdictional question. The case was in the Supreme Court. There's a 32-day period where it stays in the Supreme Court. Then it gets sent back to the trial court. While it was in the Supreme Court, Judge Reyes didn't have jurisdiction over the case. Now she does again, or she will in a day or two. The ball is back in her court now, or will be very shortly, essentially, is what that means. And the thing I've seen on the internet in certain places is that, oh, Judge Reyes might do something, even after it gets sent back to her. And again, that might be true in the long run under a different set of legal theories and with different evidence. But right now, there's very little she can do other than follow what the Supreme Court told her she has to do.
And so people are panicking today, which is July 2027, 2006, the day that the government put on their website. Based on what we know today, does that mean as of right now, July 27, 2026, TPS holders no longer have any protection?
If not today, then tomorrow or the next day, probably by the end of the week. Yes, that's what that means. It's, in terms of exactly the second when it's going to technically officially end is hard to say, because once it gets sent back to Judge Reyes, as I said, she has to enter an order officially ending it. There's no clock on how long that has to take. There's no rule that says that that order has to come in this many days or this many hours, but it in a normal case that would happen in a matter of a day or two.
Okay.
So if not today, then sometime later this week, with what we expect.
Okay, so just that people really understand, as of right now, based on what we know, things are back into Judge Reyes's court. We do not
Correct.
have an exact day or time that she will make her ruling. However, it is inevitable that with everything that's happening,
Mhm.
this ruling will come and TPS will eventually be terminated for Haitians right now. And at the same time, you and the team representing the community, what is the next step for you?
We are going to continue litigating this case. We need to figure out what our options are legally, and we need to figure out what additional facts might come out in discovery that might give us an entitlement to relief. Um, the Supreme Court's ruling told us that the grounds on which we already sought relief are no longer available to us. So we need to think about what new legal theories might be and what new evidence might come out. And that might very well take time. That's the issue. That is going to take time to litigate, which is why the termination will take effect in the meanwhile. The one thing that I hope that I really hope that people believe me and trust me on this, that every decision that we have made and will continue to make in this case is motivated by one thing and one thing only, which is what is in the best interest of our clients and of the patient TPS community writ large. I think there's going to be a lot of confusion for a good amount of time going forward. People might be looking around saying, why aren't they doing this, this, or this? We are trying to be as strategic as we possibly can be and try to find paths forward that don't end us right back in front of the same Supreme Court a week from now. That's what we're trying to do. We are trying to figure out what our available options are, and those are very, very important, very, very weighty decisions that we are weighing right now. Everything we do is with what is best for Haitian TPS holders first and foremost. I hope people understand that that's where we're coming from as a legal team.
Absolutely. And again, we are so grateful for you. Our goal, our purpose, our fight is to make sure people are protected. That is why we are fighting not only in the courts, but also in Congress. And we are still pushing the president and the executive branch to do the right thing. In addition to what's happening in the courts, we have a couple of bills in both the House and the Senate, specifically for Haitian TPS holders, the Senate Bill S 4814, that is
Mm-hmm.
still ongoing. Yes, last
Mm-hmm.
week it was put on the floor and one senator blocked it, but that doesn't mean it has ended. Our fight for Senate Bill S 4814 is still ongoing, and we do not
Yep.
know how long that fight will be. In addition to that, Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia also put the discharge petition on the Dream Promise Act that hopefully will provide permanent protection for TPS holders, DACA and ZED. But as of today, we are still in limbo. The community is still under uncertainty. But one thing that we know as of right now, whether it is today, tomorrow, soon enough, the TPS protection will be revoked, but we
Yep.
do not know when that will be.
No, but it'll be very soon. It'll be very soon. I can't give you a precise day or a precise hour, but once a case gets sent back from the Supreme Court to the lower court, it usually does not take very long at all. It takes a matter of a couple of days.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Is there anything else you would like to share with the community right
Just that,
now?
yeah, just that please keep your hopes up. Please hold your family tight. please know that there are millions and millions of people who know what I know, which is that this community is wonderful, contributes to America, is full of wonderful, wonderful people. And I firmly believe that there are more people out there that believe that than believe the hateful rhetoric coming out of this administration. Otherwise, I just couldn't do this work. And we got knocked down for now, but if there's one thing I've learned about Haitian folks is that every time they get knocked down, they get back up stronger than before. And that'll happen this time. Even though it's dark today, it'll be bright tomorrow.